Hey guys, it's me, EOD Gaming here. In this video, we're going to be talking all about how to train your bishop from level 1 to level 100 in MapleStory and MapleStory Universe, the crypto space as well. Now, I'm going to be assuming that you perhaps are a total free-to-play player. This is your first character as well. Of course, if you have more characters, you have more experience as well, your damage is just a lot better. But a lot of the things that we're going to be covering here will help you out a lot. Now, the straightforward thing that I'm going to be saying is some of you might be wondering, how long EOD does it take to get a bishop from level 1 all the way up to level 100 in MapleStory Universe? It took me roughly around 10 hours, and this is also accounting the fact that I make videos while I'm playing the game. So if you don't create content or you don't take breaks, you can actually do it in under a day in less than 10 hours very quickly. I'll share with you some meta. I've been playing this game for almost 20 years as well. So a lot of the things from its other games are very transferable in terms of mapping and stuff too. Let's start things first off with something that is less generic. I'm going to be talking a lot about in this video, like skills, where's the best map, rotations for bishops as well, how to farm, and some additional tips. But let's start things first off with something super generic like skills, because it's very, very easy to understand. And I'll go from level 1 all the way to level 60 straight away in this skills section. So first off, when you are roughly around level 30 and you want to add in your skills, it's going to be a bit tricky what you're going to do. My opinion is you want to prioritize. Number one is one-shotting enemies. To do this, I would advise most of you who are very, very free-to-play players, don't really have any other characters, you want to max out your Holy Arrow as soon as you can so you can get a bit more damage. There isn't really much of a choice or differential here. It really is, do you want to get your Spell Mastery up first? Do you want to get your Holy Arrow up? Or do you want to try to get your Bless as soon as possible? Bless over here, for those of you who don't know, when you cast it, you are able to get this additional 15 magic attack at the max level with a bit more defense, so that additional bump in attack does help out too if you're trying to go for that one shot. After you have your Holy Arrow, Spell Mastery, Bless, more or less maxed out, you can consider going for MP Eater, which if you notice that you're running out a lot on mana, this actually helps remove that requirement for pretty much ever using mana when you're mobbing as well. And then go for High Wisdom and the rest of them respectively as well. The rest of them are not too critical. Maybe Agile Magic if you are looking for as well. There is not much of a decision criteria in the second stage over here. The third stage is where it gets really, really confusing for skill allocation. And if you are a free-to-play player, my advice to most of you will be to get Shining Ray up as soon as you can. Shining Ray is going to be your main damaging skill, and if you approach level 80 plus, you will start to notice that you are unable to one-shot monsters if you're not a massive whale. This is not like your second, third character and stuff like that, and thereafter you're fully funded. If you're free to play, getting your damage so that you can one-shot enemies or two-shot enemies is very critical to help you speed up your farming process quite a bit. At level 90 plus, when I was farming with all my gear, I could only two-shot with the base gear as well for this brand new character in this game. So my recommendation, get Shining Ray up as soon as you can. If you are a massive whale and you have a lot of resources, the second priority is to get Holy Symbol up. Holy Symbol is your bread and butter skill that basically gives you an edge over a lot of other classes. Because at max level, if you cast your Holy Symbol on, similar to your Bless, you can cast both your Bless as well as your Holy Symbol, you will get a 50% EXP bonus. This is almost like using one EXP ticket, 1.5 times EXP, and you can even buff other teammates in your party. This is really, really OP, so you want to get Holy Symbol up as fast as you can. But in the early few levels, maybe when you are just starting out in your third job advancement, you don't really have too much. You prioritize that one shot, because that 50% is not going to help as much as one-shotting monsters. You can move around the map with much more mobility. So Shining Ray first priority, Holy Symbol second priority, and then thereafter you can allocate, in my opinion, is Holy Focus to get that plus 40% critical rate. This is really, really solid as well. So you can add in a bit into Holy Focus as the second priority if you really want to get that one shot. Shining Ray, Holy Focus, because of that critical rate plus 40% with that Magic Mastery plus 70% as well. And so this is either second or third, depending on how badly you want that 50% EXP bonus. But this is only just 4 points, so it's really, really quick to get. So number 1, Shining Ray, number 2, Holy Symbol or Holy Focus, and in 4th place, Arcane Overdrive. Thereafter, you have a lot of crit rate. You basically will be looking somewhere about 80% crit rate passively just from these 2 nodes alone, which is crazy amounts of crit rate. So you have a lot more damage with a little bit of inconsistency because sometimes you miss crits here and there, but that is still fine. So once you have your Shining Ray, Holy Focus, Arcane Overdrive, Holy Symbol more or less done, the rest of them are not exactly too critical. Out of the remaining, my preference personally will maybe to get 1 point into this Divine Protection over here. Because when you have this Divine Protection on, you have this a bit of an icon over here that not only is it just telling people that you are a cleric, you are a priest, bishop, but also at the same time, it helps you increase your ability to ignore some abnormal status resistance, all elemental resistances and stuff like that. So this is pretty good. If you're bossing early on, which not really super critical, you can consider going for something like this one over here, which is Holy Magic Shield. So when you cast your Holy Magic Shield, you will have this armor-ish thing around you, which basically helps you to defend against all attacks and whatever not, which helps a bit in bossing for your teammate party members as well. Not super critical, but it is something that is quite useful too. The rest of them, I don't think is super critical. Holy Fountain, Mystic Door, I left it to the end, the last. Teleport Mastery is nice to have, helps you a bit more in your movement, your mobility. It's just 1 point. It's okay if you want to have a bit more movement speed, but I didn't find it like super critical. Teleport Mastery, again, also not very important, so you can leave it to the end. The main critical ones are Shining Ray, Holy Symbol, Holy Focus, and Arcane Overdrive for skill priority. Now we talk about skill priority. Itemization, I'm going to assume everyone is just using the base items that they are giving. You're going to be using these items all the way up to level 100 when the game actually gives you your next set of free items to use. So you have a massive damage spike at 100, but before that it's really cumbersome, especially at like level 90 as well. So once you hit over here, my advice in terms of farming, 1 to 30, you will just go through your cutscenes and do the respective quests. From 30 to 60 is where you just want to go through all 4 of these events. As you can see, I went through all 4 of the team dungeons. It's much better than going and fighting Bungaing in all the maps because the EXP rate is a lot lesser. You can just do this, even if your gear is not so good, you can more or less clear it as well. Very straightforward, does take some time, but you will be at level 60. So 1 to 60 is really very easy. Just follow the 4 quests and it's quite nice. Once you are at level 60, you have a bit of a choice. My favorite preference, of course, once you are at level 60 is going through the Silent Swamp. Now, I'll give you some options because this map is also really crowded. If you are able to get into this map, and I apologize to this guy, the rotations is like this. So you hit 1, you come down, you Shining Ray, teleport down, Shining Ray, teleport down, Shining Ray. There is this part over here that you can just loop back up, and then you just keep your rotations again. So this map is probably like best in slot, especially if you can hit them. It's a really nice map. I love this map a lot. Otherwise, if it's a lot of people are fighting for this map, another option that you can come to is this one over here. This is not as good, and you can see there's like a freaking bot here. You can just 1, 2, and then go up the platforms. You can teleport twice. You can hit these monsters up here. This is also a pretty nice map, and it's also quite quickly accessible. The other options, of course, if you can't find anything, you can go through deeper into the CP Wood to fight these kind of domains. Of course, it's depending how popular the maps are, how many people are farming, but a lot of the CP Wood maps are very easily accessible for a mage as well. It's very easy to go and fight around. Alternatively, if in the earlier levels you don't have too much damage, there is an alternative as well, which is going to fight the mushrooms. Because the mushrooms are much weaker, it's a lot easier to address them. So let me just show you the mushrooms real quick. So it's in this domain here. You can start by going into your guide, your Silent Swamp. For those of you who don't know how to open your guide, you press your keybinds, you will find this orange guide icon. You can open up your guide and you can teleport if you are within the level range. Just go to Silent Swamp, come down this portal here. You will be able to find your undead mushrooms over here. So these mushrooms, they are relatively weak to the bishop's holiness whenever you're fighting. So you do a bit more damage if you're looking for that one shot as well. Bots everywhere. So you just hit a few times and they are dead, especially if you are looking for a bit more damage early on. You want to go for that one shot. This is another alternative, but the map is really, really quite awkward for this early part of things. I would stay here all the way until roughly 69, their recommendation level. At 70, you're going to be going to stairway over here. This stairway to the sky 1. I stayed here from 70 all the way to 80. Let me show you what a rotation looks like. This guy looks like he's a bit busy, so I'm going to just change channel real quick into an empty map. So let's start all the way from the top so that I can show you the rotations. So for this map, for a bishop, is really quite nice as well. What you want to do is you want to start from up here, from the top. You just Shining Ray once, twice, Shining Ray once, twice, and then you just keep going down one cycle like this, once, twice, and it's really nice. And then from here, I will just spacebar and drop down, and then I'll teleport up to reach this platform, and then you just keep your rotations going, and it's very, very nice. You can actually clear a lot of these monsters very quickly. This is probably the best in slot map for Bishop. One of the reasons why is because if you go to the Cloud Park, the damage on these pixies are much lower than the damage that you do on these cats. If I'm not wrong, at that level 70 to 79, the damage I do on these cloud pixies is like half. So you want to try to go through the stairway to the sky because you probably will be able to one-shot most of them. From 80 to 89, what I like the most is in this shaft 4 as well. I'm just going to show you the simple rotation. You can start from here, the Shining Ray, you hit both platforms as well. So, and then you will stand up here, you hit over here to be able to hit, and then you just go back to this platform 1, 2, and then sometimes I'll just go here, chase the last monster right over here. And I don't want to KS this guy's map too much. But one other thing is if you have the snail and you have a pet, how do you bring it up to this platform to loot is you just jump once or jump up like that. The pet will teleport to you, then you can loot this platform. So especially when you have a lot of items over here, that's how you can loot it. The rest of the platforms, not too much trouble because the pet will automatically teleport. So that's the rotations. I would probably be staying here from all the way from level 80 to 89. There are some other options in this outside east, but personally, I don't really like it too much because it's very bright. The map is really bright. Of course, now it contrasts because I'm in darkness, but now you can see the map is pretty bright, especially if you're playing like Dark Room. You might not like it. I don't really like the lens flare too much on it as well. But it's very straight, so other classes might like it, but Bishop doesn't really have a significant advantage over here. The alternative that you can, if it's really crowded, is Sahil 1. You can, of course, in your guide, you can click these arrows to go to the next one. This is a pretty solid one as well. You can come into Sahil 1. This is a pretty nice straight map as well. You can just go left to right, and then you just hit. In my opinion, it's not as optimal as Shaft 4, but it's still quite decent to use, especially if you are finding it difficult to get a map, or maybe you're playing with a party or something. So optimal, in my opinion, is Shaft 4. The rest of them are much worse off. From 90 to 99, where is the farming routine? The best in slot, for the most part, is going to be authorized personnel only, but especially if you are unfunded, like myself, you are a free-to-play player, I highly recommend starting out in Sahil 2 because the monsters are much lower level. This is a very easy map. It's very small, it's very flat. You can see from left to right, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4 blinks, and you pretty much cover the entire map. And it's only one platform. So this is really, really great, especially if you're trying to farm. So you will just Shining Ray once, Shining Ray twice, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you just keep out your rotations. The monsters are level 89 to 90, so it's also very, very easy to fight. I would fight here maybe until I'm like level 93, 94. Once you are like level 93, 94, authorized personnel only tends to be a bit tougher. You might start to 3-shot them later on, and it's not very efficient. You can slowly move up. This is also a really nice area because it's not very, very popular among a lot of other people. But the Bishop is able to cover this ground quite nicely. So some people don't like it because of the awkward layout, but because of Blink, we can actually get around real quick. So this is a very simple platform just from left to right here. Let me just, on my blessings. So I'll just hit 1, 2, and then we'll just keep from left to right. You can come here real quick. You'll be able to cover a lot of this area in no time. And the monsters here are also like level 93. As you can see, I'm even at level 100 with the new gear. I'm like 2-shotting them. The objective is try to go for 2 shots if you can. A lot of the monsters you will realize are all 2 shots at this level if you're unfunded for your account. So go wherever you can 2-shot. That's my best advice, especially if the level gap is not too great. Some other options. This is, of course, the monsters are like 93. Once you hit around 96, 97, you can start going to the authorized personnel only. And this, in my opinion, is best in slot, this area, because it's very, very easy. Shining Ray here hits both platforms very well. And you can go over here real quickly, 2 to 3 shot them, and you can pretty much clear the entire area very nicely. There's also a quest from this guy that you can take, which gives you, I think, like in total, he has a couple of quests that's really easy. You can just complete it in this current map that I'm standing in. You can get yourself like 20 to 40% on average, and it's really, really nice. So, and the other option, I don't really like the Mozzie tree, but for those of you, I want to give something for everyone. For those of you slightly funded people, there is another option, and that is to go into this location over here. So let me just show you. If you are funded, you have slightly more damage. This one is also pretty strong. You can come into the ferries here, or maybe perhaps you are already like level 100. So I went to the ferries. The platform is quite nice. So let me just get there. You can't really teleport here. So it's right here in the map. You can click right over here on Mozzie Tree entrance, and then you teleport, and then you come to this Mozzie Tree Forest Trail. So this map is really nice for Bishop. Let me just rotate to a new map so I can show you. Why is it? It's because it's a very, very small map, and a lot of other classes don't really like it. So you can just do this, and because this is not really well known, not many people will be here. So if you have the damage here, maybe you're just at 100. This is a pretty nice spot to actually farm. So, and yeah, that is pretty much, I'm not going to fight this. I don't want to waste your time watching it. That's pretty much my guide for fast tracking all the way to level 100. You'll probably get you out real quick. And if you found this video helpful, of course, like, comment, and subscribe, and check out the other videos on the channel which I have. I show you how I actually make some money, what are my plans, how to trade on the marketplace, a lot of other guides that you'll find useful, bossing and stuff too. So like, comment, subscribe, and check out these 2 other videos. See you guys in the next video.